because if you do, that is a sure sign that you are being actively manipulated. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's time once again for yet another rant. This time I thought I would go into a little bit of the subject of truth in the media. Basically, in an age of big tech censorship, manipulated algorithms, and 6 corporations controlling most of the news outlets that we go to for our information, how do you know what information to trust? You see, in today's day and age, journalistic integrity is at an all-time low. It's more about pushing ads and getting clicks than it is about and pushing an agenda than it is about actually getting to the truth. So what can you, as a conscientious viewer and consumer of information, do to make sure that you can rely on the factual nature of the sources that you're turning to? Well, first of all, does the source that you go to actually bother to focus on facts, dates, stats, results, actions taking place, or does it focus on something else? Does the source that you're turning to name call, disparage, slander, or include the writer's thoughts and feelings on the particular subject? If so, then you're not actually looking at a news source, you're looking at an editorialized, biased version, bastardization of the truth. Thirdly, does whatever source you're turning to use named sources and documentations? Or does it rely on anonymous he said, she said stuff to make up the bulk of what it's trying to convey? Does the information that it does utilize come from someone with an axe to grind? Somebody that's maybe been fired, a jilted lover, whatever the case may be, somebody that has a reason to be annoyed with whoever the article is about. And does the article itself provide links to a full, unedited, either original source or video? A lot of times the information that we get is missing context or the subject of selective editing. And if it does contain links like in the comments below or whatever, are you bothering to even look at the original source information? Now, those are the 6 biggies, but there's a few more that I could give you. If the news source finds that they've made a mistake or misreported something, do they bother to be upfront about it? Do they immediately correct it? There's a source that I particularly like, the Epoch Times, and one of the things that really impressed them was early on, and as I started to check them out, they actually did that. They bothered to say, hey, in a previous video, we misstated, blah, 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 and they provided the correct information as well as in the link below. I really appreciated that, and that really raised my esteem for them. Another thing is, whatever source you're turning to, does it apply the same standard to both sides? A good example of this is that lie counter for Donald Trump prior to the election. Do you remember that? Where was the lie counter for everyone else? Where's Pelosi's lie counter? Where was Biden's lie counter? Do they apply it to everyone, or was it just something for Trump? Beyond that, sometimes your friends might try to hit you with scientific studies. They might also link you to other news articles and things. Do those news articles have the comments disabled, or do they allow for discussion in there? Because sometimes the article itself might be misleading or have some wrong information, and it could be corrected by someone in the comments. I could tell you for a fact that Yahoo has turned off their comments for quite a while. I don't know if they've turned them back on because I haven't been depending on them for news since they started doing that. Another one is the Biden White House. Do they have the comments on? Something else that you might want to check out is, do they alter the view counts? Is somebody going in and manipulating the view counts or the likes versus dislike ratio? If so, then how can you really count on any legitimacy from that particular source? Moving on, I mentioned scientific studies and whatnot. If somebody has shared a study with you and you actually bother to go through it, Has it been peer reviewed? Has it been independently replicated and confirmed? I remember someone shared a study with me. I bothered to read through the whole thing. It had an interesting premise, but ultimately it didn't meet the standards. It wasn't based on the scientific method. In fact, it even contained the phrase, after giving you a bunch of facts and figures, it said, oh, we don't exactly know what the link is between all this, but we suspect. Well, that immediately told me that the whole thing was garbage and the person had wasted my time. As far as statistics are concerned, when somebody is sharing statistic or when an article references statistics, are those statistics governed by an accepted common standard or an accepted definition? The reason I mention this is because there's a lot of misinformation that comes out with gun crime statistics that don't even match up with those reported by the FBI. You might look into that the next time you're reading something. And for perspective, as you're going through news articles, as you're evaluating sources, as you're trying to find your way to the truth and the whole story, for a little perspective and context, you might turn to some foreign sources. Why would I want to do that? You say, well, a lot of times foreign sources, particularly our allies, don't have anything to gain by manipulating stuff that doesn't directly impact them. And so there are some good sources that you could turn to for a little better insight as to what's happening here at home. For a few names of those, you might check out Sky News Australia. You might check out We Own. It's an Indian news channel. You might check out the BBC, but be careful with them. And then there's also a German channel, DW. Lastly, as we go through all of this stuff, if you are typing in and doing a search for a particular article or video, maybe you just have a question that you've typed in. Does the search engine that you're using, does it take you directly to the article or video that you typed in the name of, or the exact answer to your question? Or does it first try and take you to, do you have to wade through counter or opposition articles to find the one that you actually searched for? Because if you do, that is a sure sign that you are being actively manipulated. You should be able to get directly to the article that you're looking for. Guys, I hope this helps you. It took me a while to come up with this list. I shouldn't have to in this day and age. In the information age, there shouldn't be this much confusion about getting to the truth. Why don't you share with me any stories in the comments below of times when you've looked up information and experienced some of these things, or if there's good sources of information that I didn't name, because I'd love to know about them and we could help each other. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you want to support our work, feel free to like and share this video. Of course, you can get some of our cool new swag or drop us some green on Patreon. The links are in the description below. The most important thing you can do is tell me what you think in a comment below the video.